Whoa. I can see the ground again, sort of. We've had, we had snow and then rain, so everything looked like that. And it was terrible. And I thought that that was going to be winter, but it seems like I had a second chance at seeing the ground, which is good because there are a couple things I wanted to do with the ground, including like roll up those hoses. I'm a little concerned about the pigs. Hey, little one. Hey, little one. Oh, no. Hi, little ones. Oops, let's see if I can make it down. This is ice, and I'm wearing my town shoes. You can see this filled up, and then it melted itself a channel. So this is all snow and ice here because there's a north-facing slope. So anything that faces north just stays cold. Oh, the tiny little pigs. But yeah, what I'm worried about is this is pretty much being frozen. So, you know, it looks muddy, but you can see that their feet aren't sinking in very deep. And what I'm worried about is it thawing. And then them having to slog through like knee-deep mud. Looks okay so far. So it's getting a little bit soft there. But so far, so good. You guys need breakfast. That little baby is not getting electric. Electric isn't working because you're too tiny. You should be grounded in that mud. Don't know why it's not working. I guess that is something else I will check. You can see the little ones are going right through there, but at some point they'll be too big to go through there. And these don't. When I had the wire fence up there, every time they went through, they pushed it a little bigger. But this one won't get pushed a little bigger because it's very heavy wire panels. This goose is the one goose that follows me around and gets hand-fed, whereas everyone else hangs out together and does whatever they're doing. Honey, you can't eat my bag. That's my bag. I'm gonna take that in. I made liver sausage. 2 days ago, which was a bit of an experiment. I think it's the first emulsified sausage I've done. It seems to have turned out pretty good. Emulsified sausages are like hot dogs, where you have some things that are very fine mixed together, kind of an amount of fat and an amount of meat. And normally what happens, you mix fat and meat together, and then you heat it, all the fat will clump up, and you have pockets of fat. So hot dogs are actually really hard to make, and other emulsified sausages, because you don't want like clumps of fat and then clumps of dry meat. Okay, folks. This is what happens when I switch them to morning feed, and then I'm late on feeding them. Oh, hi, puppy. Hi, pup. Hi. Yeah, we can see the ground. How's that? Good boy. I'm still going to have to pick out which 15 of them, 10 or 15, are going to slaughter. touching them is not going to be real easy. Oh well, one thing at a time. I guess while we're out here and while we're actually able to see the ground, God, let's look over here. Oh, look at that. So when there's snow on the ground like this, is a really good time to tell what your microclimate is. That is like to see the different variations in temperature on your property. So right here, where it's very south facing, this is south. So this slope is just facing the sun. You can see that all of the snow melted off it really easily. And then it's just like a little bit on the north side of the beds where they flatten out and they're not sloping towards the sun, but there's snow left. Meanwhile, over here, we're still a little bit south facing where Avalou is standing, but there are trees shading it. And up by the house where there are no trees shading it and there's a bit more of a slope, you can see that there's no snow. And then out over there where it's kind of flat or west facing, I'm standing west of that area, but the house is blocking any light sun that would come through. You can see there's a lot more snow. So you know, like, in general, this area here is going to be warmer than this area here. I mean, there are a couple of, that's kind of an all else being equal thing, because there are, like you can see, there's so much snow on my garden. So much. And that's because there's a lot of vegetation. It's kind of being insulative. And yeah. Anyhow, if you live in a place with snow and you're trying to figure out what to do with your garden, I highly recommend wandering around right when the snow is coming off. Like, even if you just have a little bit of snow one morning and then it starts to melt, see where it melts first. And that will teach you some things. That doesn't always mean that, like, say that this area will be the most even. So it might fluctuate more, like it might get hotter during the day and then colder at night. Whereas something that's more protected might have not ever get quite as cold, but not ever get quite as warm. And depending on what you want to plant, that's important to know. The dogs have made themselves a bed in here. They've been sleeping in the corner of this. It's good that it's good for something. Sorry, Pop. Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? You can't have any bread, though. Yeah. Depending on what you want to plant, you might want more or less cold. Like if you're planting something that flowers really early, like an apricot tree, you probably want it to be in a place that stays cold. You wouldn't put it on a south slope like this because it'll get warm and then it'll put out its flowers. And because it flowers really early, it'll flower really early when you start getting a lot of frost, and then you'll get a cold frost and it'll come and destroy your flowers. You won't get any fruit. So in a case like an apricot tree, you would put it maybe on the north side of the house where it stays colder in the spring, and then you won't lose your crop. Oh, puppy. I have the haskap flowers, berries here, because haskaps, their flowers are actually not damaged until below 7 degrees Celsius. Oh my God, that's disgusting. I'm so happy. So because that area will probably get more frost, but also get warmer earlier, I think the haskaps can probably take that frost. So they'll start flowering early, but they won't be killed by the frost. That's my goal, my hope. Wow. So you can see all this mud here. And it's kind of on top of the grass. Like there's grass under it. And it all came down. You know, there was all this snow and stuff here. and mud. And it all flowed down in a little stream here and then spread out there, which is phenomenal for the ground, bringing nutrients in, but it's not great water control. It used to go down in there. I don't know why. I mean, obviously a different point is lower now, and that's why it's going that way instead of this way. I'm not really sure why the difference. Interesting. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. Time to go in. Yeah, you will. Wherever you are, you probably don't have snow yet. Maybe. But I hope you're well. Wish me lots of energy to get things done today, so that when snow comes back, I'm actually more prepared.